to a roaring start. Oh, okay. So we're actually live right now, is what it looks like.
Oh,
Okay.
fun.
Oh, yeah. There was no open, no anything going to say, hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Blue Review.
Hi,
I
everybody.
was not. I got a thumbs up, but I didn't realize that meant that we are actually going. All right. So Blue Review is presented by LAX at Los Angeles International Airport. Changes are arriving daily to reduce traffic, save guest time, and transform the travel experience. Info at flylax.com/transforming LAX. Marcus, what's going on, man? I'm glad I didn't say anything and have a bad moment.
Right? Had a weird open mic moment or anything like that.
I was close. I think I was close.
But it's good. I'm glad to be back. I took a week off. I actually watched other baseball teams play one day besides the Dodgers. But it was good. It was a good weekend. It was a
I
good
saw
weekend.
that. Did you go to a A's game?
I did. So I grew up in the Bay Area, for folks who don't know, and so a group of longtime friends. We've known each other literally our entire lives, since scattered across the country, but figured we should have one last hurrah. We grew up going to A's games, so let's all get back together, have a guys' weekend, and go see the A's play. And lo and behold, the A's actually scored 19 runs that game. They might not score 19 runs. They might have scored 19 runs in the next like 5 or 6 games combined, but they put up 19 on the Orioles that day. And it was nice. It was fun to get back together and go see the old ballpark one last time and just kind of hang out with friends.
Yeah, now you have to go to Sacramento if you want to see the A's.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
good
that's
luck.
All. Like, would you ever even go to an A's game in Sacramento? Is that even worth it?
So, I mean, not for me, no. And I think for a lot of people, I mean, there are definitely A's fans in the Sacramento area because it's about an hour or so north of Oakland. I think for the first, I don't know, maybe month or so, like there will be a novelty factor of just watching the A's play in a 14,000 seat stadium or whatever it is. But I think after a while, it's gonna wear off when it's, July and it's 112 in Sacramento and it's the A's against who else is terrible? The White Sox, right? Like nobody is going to care about watching those games.
Does anybody care about watching those games now besides you if you're actually in that building?
Not really. Here's the thing. I mean, it's sort of, I will say this. What I do appreciate about A's fans is because they have sort of been screwed over for a number of years by ownership, and A's fans have collectively decided we're not showing up. We're not going to support this. Like you've given us a raw deal. Now you're taking our team away. And so like I respect the fact that they're not showing up, but also when you're there on a Saturday afternoon in July and there are literally 8,000 people in the ballpark, it does have sort of a spring training kind of feel to it a little bit. So.
Oh, that's bad. Well, let's talk about a team that people do care about. And
yeah,
actually want to go see.
Let's do that.
And the whole point of the Blue Review, the Dodgers, and it was overall a very, very good weekend for the Dodgers. They won 2-3. They took them from a good team in the Brewers, the NL Central leading Brewers. That's a very positive sign. And just another example of them beating a team that's a good team, winning a series against a good team when they have troubles against the bad teams. I don't know why it works out that way, but either way, they beat another good team that they could possibly play in the postseason.
Yeah, no, I thought there were a lot of good signs there, right? The pitching staff, the starting rotation is still kind of wobbly, It's
all over the place, man.
It really is all over the place right now, but the offense came through when they needed to. That game on Friday night, I did have a chance to sit and watch that entire game pretty much on Friday night, and Freeman and Teoscar coming up with the big hits late in that game to kind of bring them back and get them the win. Then on Saturday, Shohei hits a home run. Miguel Vargas comes off the bench and hits a home run, especially on a day where, Glasnow was Saturday, right? Glasnow pitched, and he had just kind of a weird where he had 5 really great innings and 1 really bad inning. And that was kind of it. But they figured out how to get the win. And then, Sunday, they call up Robleski. I know they just sort of needed to fill a spot in the rotation, and I don't think he was awful.
No, not at all.
Had a couple of mistakes, gave up a couple of home runs. The offense didn't necessarily click that sort of day, but I think at that point they had won the series. It was good at least to get 2 out of 3, and so you kind of go out of the weekend feeling good. And now you go on for a really big test in Philadelphia for the next few days.
Yeah, see, the Philadelphia test is monstrous. I'm really looking forward to it because this is another test of can they do this against a good team again. But you talked about a couple things in there. It's like Miguel Vargas, first of all, was the biggest one for me. It's like every time he's in the lineup, he does good things, except for yesterday when he went over 4. But the fact of the matter is, those are going to happen. You're going to have those over 4 days. He needs to have more runway. He needs to find more ways to get into this lineup and play more often because is hitting very, very well. He's had some nice plays in left field where he had made a really nice catch right against the wall. That was nice to see. I just think that Miguel Vargas needs as much time and runway as you can, and I'm not sure who it goes over at this point. But with all the injuries and all the things that are happening, finding ways to get Miguel Vargas into games is going to be important for Dave Roberts.
Well, I think if you're going to get him that runway, it might have to be at second base right now. I mean,
fine.
I knew you were going to have a problem with that.
You're not hurting my feelings.
I knew you were going to have a problem with that. That like it likely looks like it could be. I mean, if you were going to do it over Gavin Lux right now, obviously right now shortstop Miguel Rojas has that locked down until Mookie Betts comes back. I know they talked about maybe playing Vargas over at third base until till Muncy comes back. Although I'll say this, Chris Taylor is hitting the ball now, so like he's contributing to the offense a little bit. So, but if there's a spot to get Vargas consistent innings and consistent at bats, it's probably second base right now.
No, probably second base, and I do think that I don't think we're missing anything with Lux anymore. I think we're too far into the season. I understand the injury. I understand. I've always been very much this type of guy with Lux, and that he's a guy. He's a replaceable guy. Yes, he's looked decent to good at second base defensively, and that's what you need from him. But you're getting nothing. You're getting nothing out of him at the plate, and so allow a guy like Vargas to see what he can do at second base. I mean, he's obviously that's not his natural position and all those types of things, but he's everywhere you have put him, he's looked pretty good at. And I think just if you can get that offense in there in the bottom of the lineup, especially with all the injuries and everything going, everybody having to move up, getting that offense in there and playing a decent second base. I don't care where it is, just find a way to get him in the lineup.
Yeah, and I think that for me, that's the biggest thing is getting the bat in the lineup right now. Is just getting somebody else in the bottom part of the order who can swing a good bat, who can drive in runs. And look, I mean, let's be honest. The bottom part of the lineup has played better, right? That first 2 months were brutal, but really since probably early June or so, they've come around and they're actually starting to play really good ball. But if you can add one more bat in that bottom part of the lineup to kind of keep things rolling along, I think you do that. And as long as he is not just a complete circus over at second base, I think you can just make it work.
Yeah. And you can make it work there. And also another guy you talked about, Justin Robleski. I think that he actually was it Justin, right? I'm blanking on his friend. Yeah, Justin Robleski. I was all of a sudden, I felt after I said it, I was like, I don't think that's right. But it was. So he actually came in. I thought he pitched really well, actually. Yeah. He went 5 innings strong, so that was good. He gave up, it was 2 bad pitches. He's a rookie. He's not a guy that's going to be able to be he's not going to be out there all the time. It just the fact is he pitched very well. He gave up 2 2-run home runs, which you cannot do. If you're going to give home runs, it has to be it has to be solos. But at the same time, it was those 2 bad pitches, gave up those 4 runs, and that was really it. And he looked pretty good. I think the thing that was most frustrating is that Dallas Keuchel was the starting pitcher for the Brewers, and he had no strikeouts, 5 walks, and gave up nothing. No runs, only 3 hits. The fact is, like when things like that happen, you have to get runs across. If you give up 5 walks, you have to get runs across. And also, it was Sunday. It was a game. Yeah, those games are kind of up and down.
Side note to that, by the way, too. I was like, I didn't get to watch that game in depth, but I was like, scrolling the box score, and I thought like, Dallas Keuchel's still in the league. I mean, that was
it was shocking to see them. I didn't even.
I had no idea he was in the league. I didn't know he was in Milwaukee. Like that part kind of that all of that caught me off guard when I saw that.
I think it was only his 3rd start in Milwaukee or something along those lines.
Okay,
so it's a newer addition
to
what's going on there. But yeah, so I mean, and positive things that I saw this weekend: 6 All-Stars.
Yeah,
and the one main one that I'm really, really happy about, Teo in the lineup.
I was so happy about Teoscar.
I was so happy.
Yeah. I mean, because all the other guys are, no surprises, right? I mean, Shohei and Freddie and Mookie and, Glass now, Will Smith. Those weren't a surprise. I know, Teo has played well enough to be an all-star. I didn't know if he was going to get the call. So when I saw his name announced, was really, really happy for him because I think he really deserves it for what he's done this year.
So him and Will Smith, I was really happy for as well. Like Will Smith, just because he absolutely deserves that spot. And the shocking one to me was Tyler. There's two things shocking about this. Tyler Glasnow getting in over Gavin Stone. I thought Gavin Stone has very much been the better pitcher overall this entire season. I know that Glasnow has the strikeouts and the name and a lot of other things, but I thought Stone was a better pitcher. And also I was shocked that this was the first time he has been an all-star. Did you realize that?
I did not realize that. And I guess I'm just thinking because, injuries have been such a big part of his story throughout his career. He just never really stayed healthy long enough, I think, to put together a serious all-star run. I'm filibustering when I'm looking up his innings pitched. I mean, look, he's never thrown more than
close.
He's close, right? 120 innings last year was his career high. He's at 109 right now. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, lucky rabbit's foot, that everything, like, he should blow past that unless, as long as everything stays right. So
he should, and he's also three starts away, I believe, from tying his career high as well in 21. He has 18. There's only 21 starts that is his career high. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Tyler Glasnow, and to be honest with you, with the way he pitched, he gave up the 5 runs. He had not pitched well in prior outings. Don't quote me. You have it in front of you. 3 of his last 4 outings have been kind of rough.
3 of his last 5, he's given up 5 runs.
Yeah. See, that to me is an issue. And when you're looking at that and you look at how close he is his career highs in every inning pitched, in starts, in all those things, it kind of feels like he should turn down that all-star game appearance. I mean, you got nominated. You're there. You are now an all-star. Turn it down. Take some time off. Maybe go on an IL before that and let those kind of, I don't know. That just seems like it needs to be something. It needs to happen there because he is giving up runs. He's giving up runs in bunches, and it seems to be happening like in one inning. I don't know. I don't know where you land on this, but I'd rather him healthy and pitching well in October than be in an all-star game in July.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to that. I don't know. I'm of two minds of it, right? Because he's played this long, he's pitched this many years, and this is his first one. I do think there's something special about it. Now, this is where you hope that Torey Lovullo, who is the NL manager, will. I mean, I know he has no necessarily real reason to look out for the Dodgers, number 1 starter.
No, of course not.
but if you're gonna throw him, let him throw 1 inning, give him the 3 batters, and then move him along on his way, sort of thing. But who knows? But I get it why he would want to participate because this is his first one, and you think this is gonna come around again, but you never know if you pass this way again.
And what think about it too is that he pitched on Saturday. And he's he's probably scheduled to pitch again Friday. So that means that he's going to have another start before the All-Star game. And then if you do pitch in that one, you do that 1 inning, which that's what all pitchers do. They go 1 inning and then they just keep floating him around. But what if that 1 inning turns into 30 pitches and it's high stress and, he's giving up runs and he's doing all this. That's more than that. You're throwing as hard as you can in an all-star game because you're like, oh, I got 1 inning. I'm just going to fucking go. Sorry, my bad. Go out there and just throw strikes. And,
I mean,
I don't want more pressure on him.
When I said 1 inning, I was thinking one of the good Glasnow innings, not one of the not one of the. You can't
choose that.
He gives up a couple of bloops and then a blast and then maybe walks a guy. Sort of innings like that. I was sort of hoping that. Right, I know he can't pick it, but I was hoping that was kind of the inning that we would get for him. One of those 14 pitch innings where he strikes out a guy, gets a couple of pop ups or something like that, and then we just move along, sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Jeez, I don't believe it's Monday after a long week. Dropping in an F-bomb in the middle of a YouTube chat is probably not what I was.
That works. That works because we were talking about.
I think I stopped myself.
We're also talking about Glasnow, who drops at least 1 F-bomb, 1 audible F-bomb every single start that he makes. He's got to lead the league in audible F-bombs.
Yeah, look, hey, if the Lakers' new head coach can drop it twice in a press conference, then I can do it once in a Blue Review. For the first time in what, 5 months, three
There you
months,
go.
4 months, whatever it is. Yeah, it happens every once in a while.
Oh man.
Either way, but yeah, so I don't know what's going on with Glass now. But think about it this way: like if they do that, let's say he does go on the IL because of, like you said, 3 of his last 5 have 5 runs or more.
Yeah.
Then you have no starting pitching at all. Gavin
Yeah.
Stone, who is very much a rookie, is your number one.
Yeah.
Bobby Miller, who just kind of started to feel like he's that guy, is starting to slowly come back. And what, Landon Knack and this Robleski, maybe River Ryan could be coming. That's a bad space for the Dodgers to be in.
Yeah.
They got to go out and get somebody.
They do have to go get somebody. You know, I know the story was out there that they made a really big offer to the White Sox for Crochet that was turned down. You know, all reports indicate that they're not done trying, that they may still put together some other offers. I think for the White Sox, they know what they've got in Crochet, and they know that a lot of teams are interested. So it does make sense for them to kind of pit teams against each other and try to get the best possible offer. But there are other guys that have to be out there that you got to at least try to kick the tires on. I'm looking here, and you know, they're hoping that Yamamoto can start playing catch sometime in the next couple of days. So, you know, that means he's still a little ways from being there. You know, I know we don't expect the same things out of Kershaw that we once did, but I know they're saying that rehab starts possibly could be coming soon for him. It sounds like Joe Kelly, obviously coming out of the bullpen, might be getting a little bit closer. So there is some good news, even if we're still not close to the end of the tunnel yet for the pitching staff.
Yeah. So, and you're talking about Crochet, right? Like, yes, he looks like he's going to be a stud pitcher. Who he is, he pitched very well against the Dodgers. Big lefty, lots of strikeouts. The issue, and we had Jeff Spiegel on while you were out last week, and it was just me and Jeff. And what he mentioned to me, and I'm looking at his stats now, Garrett Crochet never started games before this year. Yeah. This is his first year actually starting games. So he is destroying his innings pitched that more than he's ever pitched. Before this year, where he's at, where is it, right? He's at 105 innings pitched this year. He'd never pitched more than 54 in a season. So those are just little worry things. Like, this is what you are at the beginning of the season. Does it hold over? He has a lot of control under him. But he was a reliever.
He was a reliever, and I know there has been some concern about that, about, you know, the guy that he is right now. He looks great. What is he going to be in September and October, never having thrown anywhere near this many innings? I mean, as you mentioned, he's close to doubling up already his career high in innings, and
one more start.
We're just getting to the All-Star break. He will have doubled up at that point. So you do have to sort of wonder, will he hit the wall when you need him most in September and October? And I do think that is a fair concern. I think, you know, if we're taking the long view, and I know this is a Dodger team that really is short-term focused, but he's not afraid to hit free agency for a few more years. Yeah. You get him on a really very reasonable, I know money isn't no object to the Dodgers, but you still get him at a reasonable salary at this point. You still have some team control a little bit. So there are some upsides. So it's not like you're trading for a guy who is a 1-year rental and having to do this process all over again. If you do go get Crochet and he turns out to be the guy you think he can be, then he's the guy who can be in your rotation for a few years.
Yeah. Does it bother you at all? Because it kind of worries me. When I think of pitchers that you going to go get, a guy like Crochet, I get worried about Tommy John, because we have so many guys that have already gone through Tommy John, go through a second Tommy John. Everybody, it's just a normal thing now. If you go get Crochet, does it seem like maybe that's a Tommy John candidate? We already have so many of them, right? And you're bringing him in, and he has a couple years of control. But if those years of control are stunted due to Tommy John, is it still worth it? It's just the way that baseball works and how you have to think about it now, right?
It is, because it is becoming way more common. You know, I look at it as it's almost like, you know, in football, a guy tearing an ACL. Like, it just seems to happen so often, and it's still devastating, and it still means you're gone for a year. But it just, I don't know, it seems to kind of be sort of the price of admission now with the way guys throw. The fact that guys not only throw harder, but they max out on every single pitch. That was not a thing that you saw 10 years ago, right? I mean, I don't know how Greg Maddux would fare in Major League Baseball now. I mean, I think his skills are such that he would, he'd still give you that comfortable 0 for 3 or 0 for 4, but he would not be looked at, I don't think, on the same level as some of these other guys who go out there and are touching 98, 99 every time they throw the ball, because that was never his game. He pitched around contact. Those guys just I don't think they're looked at the same way nowadays.
No, they're not looked at, and also they just don't exist. I mean, you just don't see guys like that anymore. I wish that you did. I wish that it was something that you could have those type of guys. I kind of feel like Landon Knack has that somewhat in him, where he's not a hard throwing pitcher. He's just trying to just hit his spots. I'm not saying he's anywhere near the level of Greg Maddux, don't get me wrong. Right. But the fact is that he's not the guy throwing 98 to 102. He's throwing in the low 90s, and he's still getting guys out and striking guys out. Yeah. So I'm hoping that you need a couple of those guys in there. You can't have Major League Baseball hitters can hit 99, 100. It's 100 now is like 94, 6 years ago. They just see it better. So, and everybody can hit the hard contact. It just, when it gets to 103 and 104 miles per hour, like some of these dudes are throwing.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens.
Yeah, I mean, but when we talked about Skeens after the Dodgers faced him, that for everything that looks great about him, you and I both said he looks like a Tommy John surgery waiting to happen. Just the torque and the way he throws so hard all the time, it just feels like a guy who will burn bright and I mean, I'm not wishing this, but possibly flame out just because of the way he throws.
Yeah, no, it's and this is a good point in chat. Roy Estrada says whoever trades for Crochet might have to limit him to bullpen innings in October this year. So if you bring him in, but if you're bringing him in and your pitchers aren't actually healthy, because Glasnow, Yamamoto, Miller, Stone, all these kind of guys, and Kershaw, whatever it is, Bueller, you need him to start.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
but are you okay with moving, because he was a bullpen guy? If you trade for him, moving him into the bullpen? Like, is that okay? Especially with the amount of stuff you have to give up to do that?
Well, that and the fact that, will Dodger fans accept another postseason of bullpen games, of another postseason of just cobbling together outs, right? I mean, that was so painful last year to see the Dodgers counting outs from the first pitch, right? It's like, okay, we need our opener, our starter, to give us 6 to 8 outs, 6 to 9 outs. Then we need somebody else. Then we need somebody else to give us, 3 outs here. We need somebody to get can you get us an out here and out? Like, it's hard to sit here and try to cobble together 27 outs. And if that's the idea, and I don't think that's a terrible, I don't think that's a weird suggestion, but if that's what the idea is, that already makes me queasy.
No, I'm not looking forward to that at all. Then you would really putting a lot of pressure on the offense to be scoring the offense that they're supposed to be, and putting up 5 runs a game. Mm-hmm. If that happens, I'll feel good about it no matter what the pitching is. But for the most part, that you're putting it all on the offense, and you kind of should, because of the dudes that are all up and down that lineup. Yeah. So anyway, we got to get to Travis and Sliwa in just about a minute here. So thank you, Marcus, for being here. You're not here tomorrow, I'm assuming.
Actually, I may be here tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
Right. I may be here tomorrow. Yes.
Wonderful. So Parker should be back tomorrow. His flight got delayed, and that's why he wasn't here today. But we'll do it all over again tomorrow. Thanks a lot for being here. Thank you to LAX. We'll do it every day from 9:30 to 9:55. And